So my name is Sanjeev Augustine, and I'm the founder of a company called Lightspeed, and also have recently kicked off an initiative called the Agile Leadership Academy. I started my Agile journey over 15 years ago. I was brought on as a project manager for a company, and we had these three teams, and the three teams were XP. This is sort of pre-Scrum days. Well, maybe Scrum wasn't as popular. And my boss at that time said, you know, here's a book, Ken Beck's book, if you Extreme Programming Explained, and he said, we'd like you to help manage these teams. And I said, fine, let me read the book. And I went through the book very quickly, and having come from a development background myself, it was a very nice read, very much into software engineering and disciplined software engineering and such. And I got to the end of the book and I said, I must have missed the part about the manager. So I went back and looked for the role of the manager, and there was one paragraph in that book. I don't remember the full paragraph, but there's one line I'll never forget. And the line was, the role of a manager on an XP team or an Agile team or a Scrum team by extension is to remove impediments for the team and to bring the team pizza. So I thought, okay, well, this is a good place to start. Some good sort of launchpad guidance, if you will. But over the last 15 years, what I've learned that it's, yes, it is about removing impediments for the team and bringing the team pizza, but it's about leadership, it's about authentic leadership, and it's about building a team. I started my journey with a large financial services company that was one of the early Agile transformations. This was back in 2002, and I was helping them roll out a transformation, working with the CIO and the CTO, helping them roll out Agile across 5,000 people. We were doing Scrum, and we were doing it in 3 countries, and we had to figure out how to start with a pilot program, roll that pilot program into an expand pilot, and then full enterprise adoption over a 3-year period. It is probably one of the most successful Scrum implementations ever, and sort of remains the blueprint for me. And the 2 elements that I saw that really came together in that massive Agile adoption, or Agile transformation as we call it nowadays, is top-down support and bottom-up momentum. So lots of bottom-up momentum from different teams on the ground, but also wise, authentic leadership from the top, from the leadership at the company. And when those 2 sort of magical elements came together, we found that the transformation was ongoing and complete. Now, what happened a few years later was the leadership left, some of the executive leadership left, and the Agile adoption hit a ceiling. Without the leadership, top-down leadership support, there was a ceiling, and it kind of went on for a number of years, and then the story goes on. But what I found, and this is my particular interest in Agile transformations, I mean, there's a number of reasons why an Agile transformation can go wrong, but there's one particular thing that I see. There's a ceiling of adoption that we hit when we don't have executive leadership or top leadership supporting and enabling and assisting Agile adoptions. So to me, that's the biggest problem, and that's what I'm here to chat with you about today. Sure. So I think the one thing that we realized early that Agile leadership is not just the purview or the prerogative of somebody with an executive title in their name, but it's really about everybody on the team. And also, if you have a hierarchical organization, it's about everybody at every level in the organization. We all need to be Agile leaders. It's just that as you get higher up the totem pole, as it were, the job of an Agile leader, maybe at a higher level of management or an executive level management, is very different from that of an Agile leader, perhaps at a team level, or even at the project or program level. There are many things that executive leaders have to consider, like how do you hire, how do you build their people operations, if you will, how do you build an HR system, how do you fire people, which has to happen, and how do you do it all consistent with Agile principles and Agile adoption. So Agile leadership, I believe, applies to everybody, each one of us, but it also applies a little differently depending on where we are in the organization and what the scope of our responsibility is. one of the things that I've undergone myself is obviously a personal transformation. Having come from a background of command and control management myself, having been a managing director of a consulting company, there are many things that I had to unlearn, if you will, that I had to dial back and develop leadership qualities that will allow my team to self-manage. And there's a personal transformation that I've undergone. There's also an organizational transformation that an agile leader has to help assist or lead within their own organization. And so what we've done with the Agile Leadership Academy is to combine these two journeys and say, well, anybody coming in, we call this, becomes part of a cohort, and as part of that cohort, they undertake a 1-year journey, and there are 4 modules. The 4 modules are separated about 3 months apart, well, 1 quarter apart, and what happens is that anybody joining comes in, gets a distilled version of the journey that we ourselves have undergone, including myself, and under the guidance of a mentor, learns about the transformation that is required for an organization, but also as a personal leader. So those are the 2 things that we're combining in the Agile Leadership Academy. So we have an ambitious vision, and that is to shape the future of agility. We've been Scrum and XP and Kanban have been around, well, Kanban more recently, but some of the early Agile methods, the manifesto was signed in 2001. And today, Agile methods are everywhere. And we have Agile methods in pretty much every company. That said, a lot of agility or Agile methods tends to be restricted to the IT side. So what we want to do is to start to introduce the notions of taking agility from the IT and making that available to our business side partners, and then using that collectively to transform an organization with goals of speed, efficiency, customer service, customer satisfaction, and enabling leaders to themselves to shape the future of agility of their business agility of their own organizations. So this is model on a particular journey that we ourselves have taken, and what happens is, as leaders undergo this transformation or this journey, if you will, for a particular period of time, usually they can choose to come for one module or so, but whether they can stick around for the entire program. And what happens then is that they take a project back and they take it to their organization and they work on that project. This is a project that's assigned within the academy. They go off, they work on it with the organizations for about 3 months, and they come back after the 3 months and they compare notes with their cohort, and they're working with them, a small group as they go along. But what starts to happen is the transformation in their organization starts to be more experiential. And they have a peer network or network of peers to work with them and support them, in addition to the mentorship they receive from us. So we started introducing a pilot last year, and this year is going to be the inaugural launch, the full blast, if you will. And we're starting off in June, so this is mid-June. The academy will be located in Herndon, Virginia. So we're expecting a group probably no larger than 20. We sort of cap it at 20. And if you can go to the website agileleadershipacademy.com and join the academy there, and then come join the cohort in June, and that'll start off the 2016 journey. We'll of course launch another cohort in 2017. So there's one of the things that we've done with the Agile Leadership Academy is to make it open to the community, and also incorporate the voices and direction of experts, including Jeff Sutherland, who's the creator of Scrum. And that particular role is what we call an ambassador role. So in that ambassador role, we have folks who are thought leaders, folks who work with executives, help executives transform their organizations. So we have Jeff Sutherland from the U.S. We have Dot Tudor, she's a ex-board member from the DSTM organization. Naresh Jain from India, so it is an international in its flavor. And what the ambassadors are doing is they're helping us design the curriculum. They'll probably come in and do some guest sessions now and then. And all of the other material right now, the folks who will be doing the actual classes are my business partner, Arlen Bankston, and myself. I came by at the advice of Jeff Sutherland to talk to Manny. Manny Gonzalez was the CEO of the Scrum Alliance, and Manny said, well, you should go talk to the folks who are doing the Agile Leadership Certification. And I've been thrilled to find out that there's a very close alignment between the Agile Leadership Certification and the Agile Leadership Academy, between these two entities. Specifically, what we're working towards is alignment of the first module of the Agile Leadership Academy. So there are 4 modules in the Agile Leadership Academy. The first one is called the Foundations of Lean and Agile Leadership. The Scrum Alliance's Agile Leadership Certification is going to be a 2-day course content kind of thing, and there's some specific learning objectives over there. But between the combination of the first workshop and the follow-up project, what we're working towards is a very close alignment and sort of a reciprocal agreement between the Scrum Alliance and the Agile Leadership Academy. So I'm going to put in simple terms. If you come to the Academy, you do the 1 day of the workshop, and you do the project after that, you'll completely align with the Scrum Alliance's Agile Leadership Certification.